Looking for MUT22 coins? AOEAH.com has the cheapest and most reliable coins on the market. Click the link in the description and use coupon code SPORTS for 3% off your order. What's up? It's Duke back here from Sportsgamerz.com, and in today's Madden 22 tip video, I'm going to teach you guys one of the best ways to pass the ball in the entire game. Pretty much every pro player uses this money passing play I'm about to show you. The best part is it works for any system, whether you play on current or next-gen PlayStation or Xbox. It works on all systems, and you can do it from almost every playbook in the game. Almost every playbook is going to have a formation you can do this from. So this will beat any defense, and I'm going to show you guys how to beat any defense with it. So really, to do this, you want to look for some sort of trips tray formation. It could be the gun tray as you see here. It could be trips tied in. It could be the tray formations. Or the flex formations, the offset formations. It really doesn't matter. Bottom line is every playbook just about has a formation like this with the three receivers on one side and the tight end and the running back on the opposite side. Now the play doesn't matter all too much, to be quite honest with you. Personally, I do it from double and sail, and the reason for that is you're going to get the running back on that route out of the backfield that hits the flat. Now you can hot route that if you have the running back ability for your extra hot routes, but not everybody uses that, so that's why I do like to use double and sail, because you already get that hot route. So if you're wondering, guys, everyone asks me all the time, what playbook? Guys, I tell you what playbook it is every video in the first minute. This is the Raiders playbook I'm using. But like I said, every playbook just about has something you can do this with. So make sure you guys don't skip ahead, because that's why you miss important information like what playbook I'm using in the video. Anyways, let's move the ball back. Give ourselves some space to work with. And while we do that, as a reminder, if you enjoy my content on my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. I do free Madden 22 videos on a daily basis from tips, news, and gameplay. And if you really rock with me, smash that like button. Let's try to get 350 likes on this video, guys. Let's try. I think we can do it. I really do. So I want to go over how to beat this from pretty much all the meta defenses you see. Let's start with the 3-5 wide Mic Blitz 3. This is still a very common defense. A lot of people try to use the rush 3 to basically contain escape artist quarterbacks. It's pretty common, and then they use the middle of the field themselves. A lot of people will put their zone drops for their flats on 30, or sometimes they just use the flats to take away the quick read in the flat themselves. It really just depends. But with this play, I'm not really worried about blocking anybody. The reason for that is even if they do blitz me like here, I'm going to have a lot of quick reads. So the setup is pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and streak the outside receiver over here. As you see, Hardman. We're going to put the slot receiver on a flat route. That's Hill. We're going to put the inside receiver on a slant and the tight end on a post. Now, guys, if you don't have this specific play to have the running back on this little flat, you could just put him on an out route too. But like I said, that's why I like this play, because he just hits the flat already. It's really easy. Now, for your tight end to be on a post route, you're going to need one of two things. You can either have the tight end ability, the tight end apprentice, or the apprentice for the extra hot routes, or you could use a hot route master at quarterback, and then you get the extra hot routes everywhere. Personally, I use escape artist at quarterback, so I just use the tight end apprentice or the tight end ability. But basically, the way this play works is the streak. It's not really a threat unless they just play a stupid defense where they don't have coverage over the top. It's what you consider a pull route. A pull route pulls coverage away from the primary routes you want to attack with. So on this play, I always read the flats first. I want to make them guard the flat on each side of the field. You see here I have Hill on the flat on the left, Edwards-Helaire on the flat on the right. If you're enjoying my YouTube content, I highly recommend you check out Sportsgamerz.com. This is where I post all my premium Madden 22 content. I have eBooks, offensive and defensive schemes, plus I do 4 to 6 premium tips every week in the Madden Vault. This content is available for both current and next gen, so no matter what system you play on, we got you guys covered. Our best offer yet is the Sportsgamerz Madden VIP membership. This gives you access to the entire site, every tip, every ebook, plus the meta reports for only $19.99. I'll post a link to it in the description and the comments. Make sure to check it out for the best tips and content available at the best price anywhere. On the right. Now, if they don't, I'll hit them. And the flats are big this year. But if they do cover the flats, then I'm looking to the middle of the field, because the slant will work with the post. they're going from opposite sides of the field, and the slant's a little bit more shallow than the post. So it's really upon the user to decide who they're going to guard. So let's take a look at an example of this here. So most people will use the middle, and you guys can see on this example, they did cover the the flat pretty well. So I just basically read the middle of the field. We'll take a look at the replay, and you can see here that the user is trying to play defense as well to give you guys a realistic view of how this would work the best I could. It's hard to do two things at once, but basically you can see on the right side of the screen the flat's covered. On the left side, the flat's covered. So that means that the middle of the field should be open here, which it is. Basically, they have to choose if they're going to use either post or slant, and this happens very fast. So even if they do send a blitz at you, you should have time to make your read. So here they took away the slant. Once I realized that, I hit the post for an easy gain. Now you guys are probably wondering, how do you know that both of these routes will always be open? Again, because we read the flats first. If they take away the flat, as they do here, that's two defenders that are taken out of the equation, okay? We're spreading the defense horizontally, making them guard the flat. Then, as far as the post goes, any sort of deep zone on the side of the field the post is going to is going to be pulled back by the streak route. Now, at this point, because each of these routes are going to be open, because the slant, it doesn't even need a pull route because it's more shallow than the post. The post needs a pull route because it's a little bit deeper. Both of these routes are going to be open against zone because of the route combo. Now, against man, they're both man beaters, so that's what I mean. No matter what, they're both going to be open if the flats are guarded. So like here, guys, let's see what I'm talking about. Let's play man coverage now. Let's just audible into man. So you're going to see that both of these routes should beat man coverage pretty easily. The post and the slant both. You guys can see here, really weird animation, but we were able to catch it. And it doesn't matter if they play man, like with the zones over the top, or if they blitz you with no safeties back, and they shade over the top so you can't just streak them. It doesn't really matter. Man coverage in general just will not be able to guard these types of routes. You guys can see here. It's time we go to the slant. So you guys can see both of the routes beat man coverage. Obviously the receivers and your tight end, who they are, your personnel, yes, it does matter a little bit, but in general, these are really good man beaters. Another very common defense you'll see is the whole cover 2 blitz scheme, whether it's from 2-4-5 odd or dollar. Basically what this is cover 2 with, two guys coming off the edge, a 5-man rush, more or less. So something like this, right? Now, what a lot of people do with this is that they know, like against these trips and bunch formations, you can't play cover 2 on them on the 3 receiver side because you'll just get cooked. So a lot of people do something like this to where they kind of make it a 3 deep, something like this. And then, they'll kind of use this guy to try to take away the run, right? So what happens here is, again, you just read first flat. Like, if they're going to go ahead and leave the flat open to play a 3 deep look, I can see that quickly, and that's easy, right? It might not get you a million yards, but it's easy. Now, the reason why they can't really play cover 2 against this is, even if a soft squat, which has matching principles, the soft squat's not going to guard the streak because the flat will take precedence over the streak, and the soft squat will have to play the flat. So if they just leave a cover 2 and you see that, you can just throw the streak on the sideline, bam, and oftentimes that can be a one-play touchdown against cover 2. So that's why they can't do that. Now, if they kind of backed off blitzing you a little bit and played a little bit more, safe, and maybe only rushed 4, someone might do something like this, right? So this is a 4-man rush now. So this is going to be a little bit different because now we can't hit the flat on the left, and we also can't hit the streak, but now we're going back to attacking the middle of the field. Now, potentially, based upon their zone drops, we could still hit the flats maybe, but it's not a guarantee. But as you guys can see here, the middle of the field is still open. Now, that was just a really bad ball by the quarterback, but what you want to do, and I'm going to do it again, is if the coverage is tight for the slant, just go ahead and lowball it. Lowball will not get picked off and will not be defended when you lowball a slant. You just have to get the timing down, just like that, possess and catch it. It's kind of like in the pocket where as long as you get a good throw, I didn't get a good throw the first play. As long as you get a good throw, this is not defendable. Low balls on slants have been so hard to stop for years now, and this year it's just as good as ever. But look, so what happens here is the defense has to respect the post, so they're backing up. And because we get underneath the zone, the flat zone is, like I said, spread horizontally to the sideline by the flat. As soon as we see that, I'm already throwing the low ball, and I possession catch it, and they can't stop this. Now, guys, I want you to look at the spacing here. You guys can see here I have over here kind of like a triangle. 1, 2, 3. This is very important because the spacing, and I almost have one over here too. Not quite, but right about here I do. Sort of. I mean, it's closer. 1, 2, 3. Not quite as good as on the other side of the field. And then 1, 2, 3 here. But very close. When you create this triangle spacing, this is something I've spoken about so many times for a while now. Zones, I don't care what zone you're playing, you cannot stop this. The spacing will spread out any zone no matter what adjustments they make. And further than that, because everything's so spaced out, as a user, you can't bait me into throwing a bad read and throwing a pick because it's just spaced out so well. So if you can create the triangle concept with man beaters, like 2 routes that beat man like I have here, you're not going to get stopped. That's one of the best ways to play offense, honestly, every single year. So the last thing I want to look at is cover 4. This actually attacks cover 4 very well. Cover 4 is actually a pretty solid defense. It's a safe defense, and if you know how to play match coverage and mix in zone drop cover 4, it could be an issue. It's a good coverage this year. I personally feel like you have to adjust from it to make it good. I don't feel like it's good stock, but hey, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Y'all know that the cover 4 is known for being good against the run because of how the deep zones react, right? Well, that is true, and it's just a safe defense. Like, yeah, it can get bombed, but I feel like it's harder to bomb than, say, like some of the others, like cover 2 or whatever. Anyways, let's take a look at how this works. Same thing really applies, guys. If you notice that their flats are not being guarded, like here, that's clearly like either a cloud flat or just someone that's, zone dropped too deep. Hit him every time. That's why I read it first. Now, I kind of had it over here too, but I felt like the running back had more leverage on the zone defender, the zone to get upfield. So I hit him, bam. That's why you always want to read that first, because it makes offense easy, guys. You don't want to have to be locked in every play of every game making super tough reads. If they're going to give you the flat, take the flat. I don't care if it's 10 yards. It will do its job. Because then they actually have to respect the flat, and that opens everything else up. So now that they're respecting the flat, the same thing's happening basically. I just literally read the user. So like here, you guys can see, you can even throw that post a little bit late. We just got a bad throw. Under pressure, inaccurate, man. There's nothing. I don't know what you guys think about this. You guys can tell me in the comments. Are you a fan of the under pressure, inaccurate throws? To me, I'm not. I just think that's stupid. If I make a good read, I should not get penalized that I made a good read just because someone was near my quarterback. And it's just random. It doesn't happen every time. There's even, an ability for it. I just think it's kind of goofy. I don't think it should be a thing. Anyways, here, you guys can see what I mean as far as throwing the post a little bit later in the play, a little bit deeper downfield, closer towards the sideline. You can get a bigger play out of it, And here, again, what we saw was the flats were guarded on both sides. Like, yes, I could have thrown the slant over here, even lowballed it. I mean, I know that, yes. But I wanted to show that later in the play, the tight end will get open because, as you guys can see here, when the flats are guarded and the streak pushes back the deep zone, there's a huge area of green grass right in here. As you guys can see, I'm just kind of like circling around. And we can utilize with the tight end. So as you guys can see, this is one of the easiest and most effective ways to pass the ball in the game. It's something that you'll see pretty much every pro player do, whether it's from, this specific formation or another. Every pro player pretty much will use a route concept like this to pass the ball at some point when they play because of how good it is. So it's definitely something I recommend you guys learn and get good at. I hope you guys enjoyed this tip. Until next time, it's Duke, and I'm out.